Welcome to the Purposefully Confident podcast, the go-to space for Christian women who love God but sometimes wrestle with doubts, comparison, and feeling not enough. I am your host, Osariemen, a wife, mama of two, and your go-to Christian life coach, here to help you ditch fear and walk boldly in your calling. Each week, we're sharing faith-filled truths and mindset shifts to help you build unshakable confidence. So grab your AirPods, sis. Let's shake off doubt and walk in purpose. What do you bring to the table? That is the question, the $1,000,000 question on the internet, I would say. You may or may not have heard that question before, but that question is, for so many people, is very triggering because it's asking you to prove your worth, to prove the reason why you're supposed to be in that place, the reason why you're supposed to be in that relationship, the reason why you're supposed to be with that company. It's very triggering for so many people because it forces you to think deep and think hard. And for so many people, you still cannot come up with anything. When you think very deep and think hard, your mind is still empty. And so you slip back into the old belief, the old pattern of thinking that if you cannot identify anything, then maybe you do not have it. But here's the truth, and this is not up for debate. Everything God created has value. I'm going to take you over to the book of Job 39, verse 17 to 18. I was studying this sometime around this week. It is talking about when God was describing the ostrich. Even the ostrich, who isn't known for wisdom. The ostrich is not known for wisdom. It's not known for nurturing her babies or her eggs. Basically, she's a careless mom. But the Bible also says that she carries a unique strength that sets her apart. She can outrun a horse. In other words, God gives value in places we don't even think or look. The ostrich, irrespective of the fact that she doesn't have the instincts, the motherly instincts to take care of her eggs, take care of her kids, she still has some value. She can run. She has strength in her legs. She has speed. We live in a world that loves to elevate what is tangible, what can be seen, what can be posted, what can be praised, or what can be publicly admired. But the intangible, the internal, the God-given, those ones are often overlooked. So today, let's break this down. And it's sad, but that's just the way, that's our reality now. We are drawn by what we see. And so I cannot see it, then I don't think you really have it, pretty much. That's what the world that we live in right now says. But let's break it down, okay? There are two types of value, and I want you to understand. Both of them come from God. The first one is the God-given core value. This is the value you have simply because you were created by God. It is built in. It cannot be changed. As a woman, you can nurture life. Even if it's not your own, you can nurture life physically, emotionally, spiritually. And as a man, you can protect, you can support, you can give seed to the woman, you can lead your family. These are valuable things. God put them intentionally for a purpose. And as humans, we have and as humans in general, we have the natural ability to comfort, to support, to connect, to love. Now, this is not inclusive of all the all the baggage that we might have carried along all through our upbringing and all of that. But naturally, we have the ability, in the right atmosphere, the right circumstance, as human beings, we have the ability to support each other. We have the ability to connect to each other. We even have the desire to connect to each other. We are social beings. Those are valuable things. Now, they may not be seen, but they are intangible, but They're valuable. You bring value to your home as a mother, father, brother, sister, sibling, auntie, uncle. You bring value to your home. You bring value to your family. You bring value to your friends. Even if no one ever calls it out, because we just carry on with life thinking it's normal. And beyond that, you add value to your community. You add value to the economy, to the environment, the world itself. Your existence impacts more than you know. Now, let's talk about the second type of value that you have. And I call this one the life-shaped unique value. This is the value that shapes you through your journey. It comes from what you've learned, what you've survived, what you've studied, practiced, what you've experienced. I tell you, your experiences are not a waste. What the enemy meant for evil, God always turns it around for good if you let Him. This type of value might show up in your skills, either professional or creative. It might be your ability to analyze, to think logically, to solve problems, to lead. You just might be a natural born leader. You just might be a problem solver. You like to solve people's problems. You are analytical. It might be the way that your voice even calms the room. These are valuable things because so many people are going through a lot of chaos. And just hearing your voice, being a calm person, does something to their nervous system. And this is why I'm just going to add this here. Never try to change your personality to suit the environment. If you're a calm person, embrace it. I had to learn this. I wouldn't say the hard way, but I've learned this. If you are calm, if you are energetic, you are bubbly, embrace it. Everybody cannot be energetic and everybody cannot be calm. We all need one or the other. And you would always have people that would resonate with whichever one you choose. So it could be your voice, the way your voice calms the room. Or it may also be the way your presence energizes the room. It might be your sense of humor. You are someone who never leaves the room without giving people a deep belly laugh. That's value. People love to hang around you because they know that they're going to have fun. Do you just see someone and just feel like, oh, I like this person. I think I want to be this person's friend. That's value. That's the value that they have, that they're carrying. Do you also just see someone and go, this person is so creative. How is this person able to come up with ideas like this? That's value. How is this person able to think and calculate? That's value. How is this person able to sing beautifully? These are valuable things. And as I'm speaking now, I want you to just think about those things, even the minutest, if that's a word, the most little thing that you never really considered to be valuable. I want you to think about it and write it down. Because these are the things that God has deposited in you, either from the get-go or from your experiences and your training. And if you're sitting there thinking, I don't have any of this, I want you to hear this clearly. You may not have all of this, but your unique value can grow. It can grow. And this is where you can develop yourself. This is where you can strengthen yourself. This is where you can multiply yourself. You already have the core values. That's a given. So next time someone asks you what you bring to the table, you can list your core values. That I'm a human being is enough for me to be at this table. Especially if they're asking the question to degrade you as a form of contempt. I want you to answer with your core values. then you can now think about the unique values that you also add. But never ever forget that you are valuable. And if you feel like you need to be more, if you feel like you want to add some more, go ahead, develop something, add some more. Now, you might ask, why does this even matter? Understanding both types of value helps shift your mindset. One of the ways that you can build your self esteem is by developing a positive self image, seeing yourself the way that God sees you positively. One of the ways that you're having a low self esteem or having a poor self image manifests is by thinking that you do not have anything to offer. And that's not true, it's a lie. So, understanding both type of value helps shift your mindset from I don't have anything or I don't have anything to offer to I do have something. I'm valuable and I should be treated as such. You stop searching for worth only in what the world celebrates. By the time you understand this, there are two types of values that you can bring, the core value and the unique value. You stop searching for only what the world celebrates. So even if your core values are not celebrated, you know you have them. And that's all that matters. And you know where you got them from. And you start to recognize the worth God already placed inside of you. Now, you might ask me, what next? What can I do? Now that I know that we have two types of values, what next? I'm going to tell you the first step that you need to take is to discover your value. I want you to take an inventory of what God has given you, both the core values and the unique values. And this would require you writing it down. Please get a book and write it down. Or you can write it on your phone, wherever it is that you take notes. I want you to write it down. Otherwise, if you don't write it down tomorrow, you're going to forget it. And somebody's going to come and tell you you do not have any value. You do not provide anything to them. You're not valuable to them. You need to have this list at your fingertips. And I believe that the Holy Spirit will also help you to see the values that He placed inside of you. So write it down. Take an inventory of what the value is. No matter how little it is, I want you to don't disregard any of them. I want you to pay attention to even the tiny details. Remember that God delights in the details of our lives. It can be the most tiny thing, the details. Write it down and take an inventory of what they are and have them at your fingertips. The second step that you need to take is to place yourself in an environment where your value can be expressed. Whether that's a relationship, a workplace, a community, or even just going about your calling, find a way that you can express that value. And this is the point where you separate yourself from people who devalue you, people who are just blind to what you bring, people who do not know your true and recognize or honor the value that God has placed inside of you. You need to separate yourself from them. And I'm not asking you to go into a place where go look for relationships where you're having all yes men. No, people who value what God has given to you, but they can still challenge you. They know that just being a human being, just you existing as a human being is valuable enough because you carry a DNA from God. And that's enough value. So you need to set yourself in the place where your value can be expressed. If it's through your work, express it. If you like to write things. Just find a way to express your value. And the third step that you need to take is to invest in yourself. Keep investing in yourself. You're not done growing. Still have some growing to do. You're still going to keep adding to your value. That's the beauty. Your unique values, you can still add to them. So if you're feeling like you really do not have a lot in your inventory, yeah, that's fine. just remember that you can always add to your value. You can keep growing. And as you grow, your value increases. As you invest in a coaching program, your value increases. As you read the book, your value increases. As you watch the YouTube video, even listening to the podcast right now is increasing your value. So you have to set yourself up in a way that you're going to be developing yourself all the time to keep increasing your value. Not because you want to prove to people that you are valuable. Already you have to know it, that you're valuable, because you have the core values, right? But value is something that can always be added, and that's the beauty. So I want you to keep investing in yourself. So you're not saying that you have value because the world is saying it and the world is recognizing it, but because God has already established it. And that is the kind of value that cannot be erased. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode. If it was a blessing to you and you enjoyed yourself, kindly do me a favor. Leave me a review, as this would allow this podcast to be discovered by women like you. You can also be a blessing to someone by sharing this episode with them. Until I come your way next time, stay blessed.